Say the Marvel Studios success story started right here in Hall H, and today I think that story is going to go to the next level. It's going to go to the next chapter. Let's bring out Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios. Have a seat. Kevin, how are you?
Good. How's everybody here? Excellent.
It was nice seeing Jon Favreau out here.
Yes, I just saw him. Let's give him one more time for Jon Favreau. He's great.
You know, next summer there are two films coming out. One is called Thor, and one is called Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yes.
And it's interesting, Kevin, what you guys have done, taking the creations of people like Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Joe Simon. Tell us about these two films. This is really the next step for you guys, isn't it?
You know, it really is. I was here 3 or 4 years ago, and we talked about the lineup and the number of characters that we had under the home banner of Marvel Studios, and Thor and Captain America. And I could sense in the crowd there was excitement that it was possible, but skepticism that it would ever happen. And I think by the end of this panel, that skepticism might go away. Do you like combining the universes? You do? Me too. Me too. And it's extremely difficult, and it's never been done before, and it's never been done before for a reason, because it's oftentimes the rights aren't clear, and oftentimes you deal with real-world scenarios, and these aren't just drawings; these are people, and everyone's got to be assembled properly.
Outstanding. Well, you know what? I think everybody is about ready to see something. What do you want to show them first, Kevin?
Does anybody want to talk about Captain America?
Hey, you guys, welcome. Welcome to the stage. So, Joe, you know what? Every film starts with some fundamental decisions, and one of those, of course, is tone. Tell us a little bit about the decisions you guys made as far as tone.
Tone. I'm thinking B flat, maybe C sharp.
Okay.
No, okay. It's I see it as a classic adventure love story, with an edge. One of my favorite films is Raiders of the Lost Ark, which I worked on, so that's one of the reasons it's my favorite film, one of my favorite films. But you don't, at no time during that film do you feel like you're watching something that was made in 1936. I mean, it feels as modern today as it did when it was made, and that's what we're going for here. It's not going to feel like a war movie that was made in 1942, but we have one chance to tell the origin story of Captain America, and that's what we're going to do.
You know, Captain America is not the oldest character for Marvel, but it's probably the signature, most enduring character. Chris Evans, tell us about that challenge and that opportunity. There's a lot of history there. That's a challenge and an opportunity for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's a little intimidating, a little daunting, but you know, it's exciting. I mean, I'm trying to put the magnitude of the project in a separate part of my brain, because I think if I focus on it too much, I'm gonna just melt into a panic attack. I'm just trying to approach it like any other movie and just focus on the character and work with Joe, and hopefully he'll direct me in the right direction, and I won't ruin the movie.
So, Chris, you just started filming like last week, is that right? Or when did you start on the set?
I started on set about 5 days ago.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. We eased into it. We did some nice gentle scenes just to get my feet wet, and it's been fantastic. Everyone I'm working with has been great. The suit's fantastic, and it's just it's a thrill.
And then one of the signature characters in cinema in the last decade is Hugo Weaving with the Lord of the Rings films, the Matrix films. And Hugo, here you have the Red Skull, and there seems to be a lot of things that you could dig into there. Tell us a little bit about the Red Skull, his voice, how you envision the character.
Well, the voice, I mean, obviously he's German, and so I spent a little time listening to a couple of famous German artists, one Werner Herzog and the other Klaus Maria Brandauer. And I've sort of synthesized their voices into the voice of Red Skull.
I think they want you to do it.
I'm not going to do it now, though. You might get to hear some.
He's all right.
So Chris, one of the things we know, obviously, is you played a superhero on the screen before. You were the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four films. Did that play into your decision at all in any way? Is that something you considered pro or con when you took on this role?
I mean, I'm sure people out here might have had an opinion one way or another, but you know, it's, again, to me, it's a movie. It does happen to fall into the Marvel family, but at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make a character come to life and looking at it the way I would any other project, whether it was comic book or not. So obviously I'm going to have to navigate a few questions like that. But hopefully if we do our job right and the movie's good, no one will have too much of a problem with it. I hope.
You know, you guys are just getting underway with the film, really. But Joe, there's many different Captain Americas. If you could look through the years, which decade you pick in the comics. Tell us about the Captain America that we can expect in your film.
Well, I've looked at all the Captain Americas. I mean, I've you know, right from the beginning, from the first one, which I believe came out in 1940, before America was even in the war. I'm sort of a fan of the Brubaker version of Captain America, and we're borrowing certain elements from the Brubaker version visually for the Cap suit, but I think you know, we're tending to we're sort of going slightly more modern than the original Captain America, which was basically a pair of pajamas with stars and stripes on them. So I'm sure Chris will be very happy with that. Won't you, Chris?
Ecstatic.
You know, Kevin, any superhero movie, one of the initial things that you have to decide is the costume and how the costume will be realized on the screen. Things that look good on the page don't necessarily look good on the screen. Can you talk a little bit about that challenge and what you guys have come up with on this film?
Well, it's a big challenge, and it's a challenge I think we've overcome in most of our films. As Chris was saying, he's only been in a test version of the suit so far. He hasn't shot any footage in the actual suit yet. But we do testing, you do fittings. What you just saw in that piece was just a little snippet from the costume test. And it's coming together very well, and it comes together in a way that is true to the silhouette of various versions of the costume in the books, but at the same time, and I think an image leaked online recently that gave you a more cartoonish view of what it is, but it's something that is unequivocally the Captain America uniform, but can fit that period, which is the early 40s, when the entire film takes place.